Guys, 90 minutes are up and the Black Stars have been victorious. 1-0 win over Mali at the Accra Sports Stadium. It wasn't a very convincing performance, but what's your take on what we saw tonight?
Well, for me, I think the Black Stars did was necessary. Getting the 3 points was the most important factor on the day. Yes, they didn't play so well as we expected them to be. They started on a very good note we're expecting. But I must say I'm very much impressed with how the likes of Sibo and Ate blended into the team after not playing with the team in the first match that is against Chad. So very much interesting, telling us something that look, if the Black Stars are able to get their midfield game correct, it looks like everything around it will be able to function. The defense was quite relaxed today. They didn't have a lot of threats to deal with, especially in the first 70 minutes of the game because of the presence of Partey and Sibu in the middle. And it really helped the defense to take their time and then dictate as to how they want to do their clearances and also defend the goal. However, much has to be said about how Coach Otuado goes about his striking options. I mean, if you ask me, I was not so much happy with how he decided to deploy the boys up front. The likes of Semenyo, Jordan, and then with Inaki on the bench, Kudus in there, and then later on bringing in Joseph Fenton and the others. I think he still needs to work out the correct mapping for the Black Stars up front because those players, you've got quality that can really gel and play very good football. But again, it's up to how the coach will want to deploy them on a particular day against a particular opposition. Because look, at the end of the first half, you could tell that yes, we were trying to apply pressure onto the Malians, but the striking options were still not finding good connections between them. And it was because probably one of them or two people felt that they should play from a particular side, which was not really helping the Stars. And so going into the next game, which is more crucial than this, I think that within that time frame from now to the next international, we should be able to fashion out who and who to start and who and who to play for the first 45, 60, 65 minutes before bringing in another player. That will really help us. But for the game in total, the Black Stars did what was necessary. The midfield game was superb, and that won us the 3 points.
Well, Kofi Evans talks about the options that Otto Addo has and how he deploys his front lines. We saw quite a lot of chances created, but these guys were not able to bury these chances. I don't necessarily see it as maybe the striking options because the team created chances, but they weren't buried, especially in the second half. Going forward, we have Central African Republic to play away and Comoros to play at home. These are two very crucial games. We've seen a different setup from Otto Addo. Defensively, the centre-back pairings and the midfield pairing, it was a different, different team altogether, or let me say different selection altogether from what we saw against Chad and what we've seen against Mali, because Partey and Sibo in midfield as compared to Salis and Elisha Owusu in the last game. We've seen, Juku come back into the defense. There was Salisu as well in the back line, which is different from what we saw against Chad. So in these last 2 games, is the coach still trying to find his best team, or he's just working with what is available to him? And then you add our striking options to it, the chances created and how we're fluffing our lines.
I do not understand your question very well. Are you trying to tell me coach needs to deploy the same tactics in every game possible?
No, I'm trying to say that in the previous game against Chad, we saw different selections, and we know the reason why. Jiku was not available for that game. Thomas Partey was ill for that game.
Okay.
So in terms of the differences that we've seen, how he gets to put his best team together.
But this is what you get if you have a top coach. Variation. Otto gives you variation. And this is what you expect from a top manager. Because you mentioned Central African Republic, you mentioned Comoros.
Yes.
This was the most difficult fixture we have remaining. We are already at the World Cup. We will beat the 2 teams soundly Central African Republic should not be the kind of opposition that Ghana should be scared about.
They're better than Chad, but you couldn't beat Chad.
Yes, but we can get a draw against them. We don't need to beat Central African Republic to qualify.
Comoros are beating you twice.
Comoros will come to Accra. I am not scared. I think it was a solid performance from the Black Stars. Solid game plan, well executed. If you watch the game, one thing is clear. You cannot blame the coach. He's working with substandard players. You can't blame the coach. He's trying to make do with the materials available. And you see, we can make all of the noise we like to make as Ghanaians. But the truth of the matter is that if you go to bed, you sleep thinking that you wish this was a different era, because you will have all of these fanciful players seemingly on paper, but in real life, they are not as good as we claim they are.
They're not better than, don't the Black Stars have a better team than all the other teams?
That is the reason we are top of the group.
So where does that point of inferior players come in, or substandard?
Inferior players make the coach's job difficult. When you work with Ronaldo, when you work with Nani, when you work with what's the name, Kubasi, they make your job simpler. If you work with Kudus, if you work with Kamal Din Sule, man, your job is difficult.
That's what we have. That's why he's been brought into.
Exactly. So he's managing the situation. He's managing the quality you have, and he's managed that you guys are top of the group. Cuts the coach some slack. I think that Ghanaians overly like to criticize. At the least opportune time, Ghanaians want to criticize. But the point is that Otto Addo has done a fantastic job with the Black Stars. He's done an amazing job with the Black Stars. And nobody can convince me that it's not the coach that we need for this material time.
You're playing at home against Mali, 70 minutes, 1-0 up, and then you're defending for your life.
You play at home against
Mali. Play out of your defense then ballooning the ball.
No.
Recklessly.
Maybe you did not watch the heydays of Jose Mourinho. You play against Mali, you score one goal, you close shop. Game is over. This is what we experience today.
You won't play against Mali at the World
Cup. The point is simple. This is Africa. We are qualifying for the World Cup. Once we go to Africa, it's the World Cup, we will adapt.
Yes.
Because we'll be playing against much better opponents. So I think that Toto has done an amazing job.
Why are you tickling yourself?
And if he does qualify, remember, he becomes the first Ghanaian coach to qualify for the Ghana for the World Cup twice. I don't know if Kwesi did it. He did what, right? Yes, so he becomes the first Ghanaian coach to qualify the Black Stars for the World Cup twice. You guys need to put some respect on his name. Put some respect on his name.
Again, why are you tickling yourself?
I don't know what answer it is that you are looking for.
I don't know, or you're black, or you're white.
Put some respect on Kotuado.
Is this team a team that you feel that has all the quality in terms of player quality, in terms of managerial quality, to go toe-to-toe with the best at the World Cup? Can you confidently beat your chest and say that this Black Stars team is good enough to compete on the world stage?
No, but which African team is good enough to compete on the
Morocco
world
is
stage?
good enough to compete on the world stage.
We cannot
qualify for the World Cup.
We cannot
won all their games.
I can tell you confidently that going into the World Cup, no African team is top 4 in terms of rating. In terms of expectation.
Yes.
So I don't know what it is that you want Otuado to do. You expect Otuado to make the Black 4 materials? No, please. I mean, that is an over expectation. And for me, I think that it's seriously unfair to the credentials of the coach. Because at the end of the day, he can only do what he is expected to do.
Yes.
No African team, as we speak today, is top 4 material in the world.
Yes, but
you can mention
Morocco is winning games. You expect them to win. Even Comoros. winning by 3 goals to them. This is the Black Stars team that is defending for their lives at home against Mali, going away to Chad, and then playing a 1-1 draw away. Actually, you score 1 goal and you're defending. So, fine. There's no African team that is guaranteed top 4 at the World Cup. Yes. But, we look at precedences. We look at, how they play. And when you compare how even South Africa is playing, you look at Tunisia that have just qualified. You look at Morocco that have qualified. And you look at this Ghana team. They do not inspire any confidence. You don't want to be grinding out results in certain games that you should be confidently winning. And then you think you go to the World Cup and then what are you going to do there?
No, I do not know what you call confidently win, but this was a game we won confidently.
No, you sat here and you were nervous throughout the game.
No, I wasn't nervous. This was a game that we won comfortably. So I don't know what it is that you want to say.
Two questions. These Black Stars players need to be coached or they are to be managed?
They are to be managed.
That is the question Otuado needs to answer. Alone in his own closet needs to answer that question and then work on the answer. Secondly,
what do you think the answer is?
Well, the players are old enough not to be coached. They need to be managed, but that is not what he's doing. He's trying to coach the boys, which is always going against him. How do you tell me?
But how do you tell me that you play a game? Hold on, Eva.
Play a game.
Eva, how do you manage Kamaldeen Suleiman? How do you manage him?
You manage these players.
How do you tell me somebody plays football all day, trains all day, practices all day, goes onto the pitch, runs the best part of the job, and is not able to make a simple pass?
So
how do you tell me the coach has to manage him?
You manage the Black Stars. You manage the Black Stars. You don't manage Kamaldeen Suleiman. You bring on players who will fit into the stars.
But the same people like yourself,
what star was he playing with?
What the same people like yourself will step back and say that the coach is not playing Kamaldeen Suleiman.
Which star was he playing?
No, listen.
The star was playing very
listen.
Get a goal, control the game from the back, wait for them to come on you. And that is not working. It's not working the last 3 games that he's been with us.
Well,
it has not worked in the last 3 games that Otuado has been with us.
You know what?
And it backfired badly at the World Cup.
You never work against, if the Black Stars come up against a side with a little bit of quality, they will suffer.
I think that there's a whole black conspiracy theory against Otuado.
No, and no one is bringing Otuado.
No.
We are not bringing Otuado to conspiracy. Our own problem is this: Otuado should have now studied the team, studied the boys he's working with, and know how to go about games with them. Our point is simple. Yes, for today he's won the game. That was the most important thing to do. But going forward, looking at games that we have up front and the history we have with these 2 teams, if you always want to win, get a goal and sit back, you will always be pegged back in the dying embers of the game. We saw it against we saw it against Chad. We've seen it against other teams. Here in Ghana, very late.
Let me ask you a simple question, and probably ask all of the viewers a simple question. What stage do you think the Black Stars is in now? Are we rebuilding? Do we have a team that is competent enough to rub shoulders with the very best in the world, with the very best in Africa? No.
But you understand?
No. You guys are always putting the cat ahead of the horse. The point is simple. We need to know our reality. And the reality is simple. We do not have a team that is competent enough to battle with the rest in the world or in Africa. I can say that in our process to have a team, we are like 30% through the process. So you do not expect the kind of visions and results you are dreaming of. When we are battling,
where are you getting this player? This is not football where you can do transfer. This is what you have.
No, the point is simple. We are trying to put together a team that will not only compete now, but that can compete in the next few years. And in the process of putting together that team, we are almost at the first stage. We are not anywhere close to the middle. Come on. Look, come on. You don't answer
the coach of the Black Stars.
You don't answer questions. No, you don't answer questions. How many games has he played in that span?
Out of 6 positions up front, you have 5 of the best performing African players on the weekends.
Who are they?
Semenyo, Jordan, Inaki.
5 performing African players.
Yes.
Ahead of who?
No.
Ahead of who?
Out of the 6 positions, 5 of your players who will fill those
No.
they are part of the best performing African
ahead of both teams.
Not ahead of them, but they are part of the best
Ademola Lookman. Which of our players is fit enough to lace the boots of Ademola Lookman?
He doesn't even have a club. He's still struggling at Atalanta.
Look at you. We are just
we are talking about starting at the start of this season.
Even going to relegation. When do
Lookman you're talking about playing for Nigeria. Nigeria is struggling to qualify for the World Cup.
Well, I think that you guys are
I feel that yes, the players are overrated, but in terms of quality, they are good enough to get an even better result than what we are seeing.
No. I do not think so.
I don't think that we have a team that is as good as we used to have.
Exactly.
But again, we should be getting more from what we have.
I think that's what we have and where we are with our project. These are the sorts of results that we need to be grinding.
You don't think that if we have a manager with a higher pedigree, we'll be getting more than what we are getting?
Like who?
There are other managers on the market.
Like who?
Even the Mali coach.
Like the Mali coach.
He's not better than He's not better than
Bruce is doing.
No. He is not better than Otuado. We saw the Malian coach.
Qualification. No one is
Otuado's qualification is beating Nigeria to the world.
Which one?
That's his highest accomplishment.
No idiot can qualify a nation. No idiot can qualify a nation to a World Cup.
That's his highest accomplishment.
To beat Nigeria to the qualification in Nigeria. What's the name of that stadium? What's the name of that stadium?
Thanks, VAR.
What's the name of that stadium?
No,
what's the name of that stadium in Nigeria? What do I do to go there play a 3-back? Something you have never seen in the annals of Ghana football. A coach play a 3-back with Ghana. Have you seen it before?
That was 3 years ago.
Yes. So for a coach to beat Nigeria in Nigeria.
He didn't beat Nigeria.
No. Beat them to qualification. To beat Nigeria in Nigeria to qualification, you don't sit here and rub his reputation in the mouth.
What about continuing what he started with Nigeria? Draw, lose.
And he's on top of the group. He's on course to be the first Ghanaian to qualify Ghana for the World Cup twice.
Twice, my nigga.
He has the worst record as Black Stars.
It doesn't matter. The end justifies the means.
The point is simple.
I think that Otuado is just doing what the prerequisite requirements requires him to do.
Yeah. Qualify
the team to the World Cup. We can sort out all of your arguments later. We can put them on the shelf, sort them later. For now, the guy needs to qualify Ghana for the World Cup, and he's doing his job. He's been given a job to execute. He's done his job amazingly well.
We do not have any problem with Coach Otuado.
We judge.
The only problem I have with the team, Black Stars team,
you have Kamaldeen Suleiman. You want to play like Brazil?
Not play. You be serious. And that is why I would not want to agree with you, because you are the one in charge of the team. And so you need to stamp the authority on the team and know who to bring on. You have 1,001 Ghanaian players out there.
I am telling you.
So if you still have the impetus
you have Mohamed Kudus as your chief facilitator, and you want to play like Portugal.
Well,
come on.
Otuado's performance.
You saw Kudus today. You saw Kudus today.
I will see him at his club side.
And he performed very well. That is what I'm saying, that know the style of play of your team and know how to deploy the players. That will bring out the best in them. That is something I strongly believe Otuado is yet to get correct with the Black Stars.
Come on, Oto! Come on, Oto!
Automatic revival.
Anyway, it's been a post-match analysis of the game between the Black Stars of Ghana and Mali. It ended 1-0 in favor of Ghana at the Accra Sports Stadium. Catch us on our next episode of Sports 101 here. And kindly like, subscribe, and share. Let us know what you think. It's been a heated argument in the studio about the quality of the team, the quality of the coach, and the Black Stars' chances of qualifying to the World Cup. Remember, the Fantasy Premier League is on, and you can join the Sports 101 Fantasy Premier League. The code is just down below on the screen. You can join, and then you stand a chance of winning 3,000 Ghana cedis at the end of the season. We are getting into match day 4, so it's not too late to join the Sports 101 Fantasy Premier League. Well, some of us are still making our way up. If you have to talk about relegation, then myself and Lucky would have been relegated at the end of the season. But Miracle Baby 24/7 is still up there. One Man FC there as well. So the guys are doing something really, really well. Subscribe, comment, let know what you think about the World Cup qualifiers. Until next time, on our next episode of Sports 101,